If you're a beginner copywriter, I can almost guarantee you that you're making this mistake, and it's stopping you from signing clients, it's stopping you from getting results for your clients, and worst of all, it's making you look stupid as fuck. But the good news for you is nearly every beginner copywriter makes this mistake. I used to make this mistake, and in this video I'm going to show you what that mistake is and how to fix it. Okay, so we're in Google Docs and I'm going to tell you what this mistake is. The mistake is, it's actually a few mistakes, but we can put it under the umbrella of what I would call overwriting. And it's you getting into this copywriter mindset of everything needs to be cute and clever. And I'll show you this with an example. So basically the way that I got this email was I told Claude that it was a terrible copywriter, to add way too much personality, to add too much clever analogies, to make the email super long and have no direction, and that's what a lot of people do. So now this is for Nuru. The product was like a hip stabilizer for hip pain, right? So let's just look at the hook. Oh my goodness, do I have the most incredible, life-changing, absolutely mind-blowing story to share with you. So picture this, you wake up in the morning, probably looking amazingly fabulous by the way, and you're about to spring out of bed like a graceful gazelle when, ouch, that pesky little hip decides to throw a temper tantrum. But wait, like we're 7 lines in before we've even got any idea what this is about, and it's like wake up in the morning, spring out of bed like a gazelle, and ouch, your hip throws a temper tantrum. That's not calling out a pain point. That is just you acting too clever, and we're 7 lines into this, we've lost this sale, people have already closed down their email agent. Before you start feeling all doom and gloomy, let me paint you the most amazing picture of what's happening in your super duper sophisticated body. This is going to seem way over the top. I needed to do this so that you can actually understand what I mean. But your cartilage is basically the world's tiniest little cushions. They're basically the unsung heroes of your body. Again, we're just using these like stupid little analogies that make no sense and they're unnecessary. We come down to here now, super duper exciting part. Introducing the absolutely game-changing NeuroFlex hip and back stabilizer. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. Like, see this shit, putting stuff like that in at the end of sentences. There's a time and a place to do it, but a lot of people just overuse that. Again, another terrible analogy. And then now we're getting into parts about their pain points. And we're, what, fucking like 20 lines in? And then we come in, we do a quick call to action, that's it. Now, I'm going to show you the real message. Now, Nuru has some great copywriters, so let's just look at this. Remember when you could get out of bed without that painful jolt in your hip? Immediately we've called out the pain point. Immediately people are going to read this and go, I know what this is about. If this person who's reading this is experiencing hip pain, which they probably will be, they're going to be like, I need to read the rest of this. Unfortunately, hip pain is one of those things that tends to get worse as we age. Here's why. Now, what we do here with this part is we're kind of going into something that's called a mechanism. And this part of the mechanism is the unique mechanism of the problem. So people know that they have this problem. Now we're telling them the kind of root cause of that problem. Over the years, the cartilage that cushions your hip gradually wears down. It's like shock absorbers in your car. They don't last forever. So that's a good analogy. At the same time, the muscles supporting your hips grow weaker and they create less stability and more pressure on the joint itself. And the result, it's pain that can stop you right in your tracks. Hip pain doesn't just hurt, it steals your independence. Simple activities become major challenges. Now we're getting into this person's life. They're going to be experiencing stuff like this, getting in and out of your car without wincing, bending down to pick up stuff off the floor, even just putting your socks on in the morning. Now we're coming into the solution. So we've got the NeuroFlex hip and back stabilizer. There's no crazy like introducing this game-changing, revolutionary method. Like, you don't need that. It's like having an extra set of hands providing exactly the support your body needs. We go into some benefits. We go into further benefits. We show them how to use it in a very simple language. And then we go into the offer, and then we give a little risk reversal. Now, that is very simple, and some beginner copywriters would be like, yeah, there's not enough in it, you know? And this is the thing, this is the biggest mistake you're making. Like, sometimes less is more. Actually, 99% of the time, less is more. And so, the way that you actually do this, I'm going to show you some kind of principles here to doing this. One clear message per email. So that one that we just spoke about, the email is about hip pain. So you should only talk about hip pain, nothing else. Trying to be clever or cute with everything. And that's what I say here. Write like you're talking to one person. The good emails feel like a conversation, and it's personal, it's direct, and it's not trying to be clever or cute. I'm going to expand on this as well. Obviously, what it's trying to say here is talking to one person, but you also need to remember it's like a conversation that you're actually speaking to someone. If you were speaking to someone, you're much more likely to speak like this email as opposed to this fucking thing. Problem, solution, proof, action. Both good emails, so I'm going to show you another example as well, but both good emails follow a simple structure. Problem, solution, proof, action. Right? Now, it doesn't need to be like the ADA formula or the PASS formula. You don't need to use a formula, but nearly every piece of copy is going to follow that very basic structure. Someone's got a problem, we have the solution, here's exactly how it works, here's how it worked for other people, click here to buy. That's the same thing whether it's a landing page, an ad, a VSL, an email, it all follows that exact same structure. So we also use natural transitions, like here's why, but here's the thing, and what we're doing here is we're just guiding the reader smoothly from one point to the next. There's no choppy sentences or random ellipses. Now what I'm going to show you is another bad example. Now a lot of people write like this. So this is another example of a beginner mistake, and it's kind of the same, but a lot of people have gotten into this. They've heard use short sentences and then they write like this. Remember when getting up didn't hurt? Yeah, those days are gone. Hip pain tends to get worse as we age. Here's why. Cartilage wears down gradually. The muscles supporting your hips grow weaker over time, creating less stability, more pressure in your joints. The result? Pain that stops you. Getting in your car hurts. Like that, that's not a conversation. If someone came up to you in real life and started speaking to you like that with choppy sentences and saying like, that pain that stops you, getting in your car hurts. Like it doesn't sound natural. You need your emails to sound natural. So that was something else that people get wrong. But yeah, so that's natural transitions. Benefits, not features. That's a very simple one. Not a lot of people get this wrong, but remember, bad emails are going to talk about like advanced compression technology. That's a feature. However, there is times to use stuff like that. But good emails are just going to say stuff like takes pressure off inflamed tissues. And that's exactly what the original Nuru one says. So this is the big one. I'm going to make this bigger. Stop trying to be entertaining. Your job isn't to make people laugh or smile. It's just to solve their problem. The good emails are serious, direct, and focused on the reader's pain point. Don't get me wrong, if you're writing for like an info offer and the person has like a bubbly personality, you need to inject some of that. But remember, it's an email. Remember, this is specifically for emails. Remember when you open your email and you look at it, what kind of state of mind you're in. You're in scrolling mode, you're in like quick delete mode. So if someone starts pissing you off by trying to be entertaining and using these stupid little analogies and doesn't get to the point, you're just going to delete the email. And that's probably what's happening to you all the time. Another thing is one emotion per email. So hip frustration with pain, that's the only thing that we should talk about is pain, that emotion. I'm going to show you another example. So I've got a brand that's kind of similar to like those hex-clad pans, and a big angle that we use is the harsh chemicals and like Teflon pans and all that kind of stuff. And so this is another email. Oh my goodness, I'm literally shaking as I write this email to you because what I'm about to share is going to absolutely rock your world in the most incredible way possible. That perfectly organised kitchen of yours that you're probably so proud of. Again, we're just adding too much bullshit. We're not getting to the point. It's keeping a dark, dangerous secret from you. That's just over the top. You don't need that. I know. You're probably thinking, but wait, my kitchen is my happy place, my sanctuary, my creative cooking paradise. And trust me, totally get that. Kitchens are supposed to be these magical places where culinary dreams come true. We've still not got to the point. You kind of get what I'm trying to get at now. So let's go and look at the good one. Your kitchen is supposed to be the safest room in your house, but right now it's probably the most dangerous. So we've led with a little bit of curiosity in this. Right? People are like, how is my kitchen dangerous? Here's what big cookware doesn't want you to know. PFOA free doesn't mean safe. They've switched to other chemicals. Ceramic coatings crack, leaching heavy metals straight into your scrambled eggs. Even stainless steel releases nickel, especially when it gets scratched, and it will get scratched. The truth, most cookware becomes a chemical weapon the moment you start cooking with it. But here's the thing, you don't have to choose between convenience and safety. Our hybrid technology gives you zero harmful chemicals, professional searing power, and effortless food release. Eggs slide off like butter. And we're so confident that you'll love cooking without fear. We guarantee this product for life. Hexclad, boom. So, you notice how simple that is. But it's the simplest emails that do the best. It's the simplest landing pages that do the best. As soon as someone comes on and reads your copy and they start getting confused, you've lost them straight away. And that is one of the biggest mistakes that you guys are making. You're probably not just making this in your copy, you're probably making this in your outreach messages as well. Like if you see any of my outreach videos when I'm like writing an email and I'm like, hey, I was checking out your brand, I noticed this, I wrote this for you, check it out, boom. That's it, that's all you need. If you start messaging people like these crazy outreach emails, remember this as well, your outreach is copywriting. So maybe one of the reasons that you're not signing clients is because you're overcomplicating your outreach messages and you're not a good copywriter. You're failing at the first hurdle, which is copy, and your outreach message is copy. So that's it. You just need to remember all of these. The golden rule, one clear message per email. Write as if you're speaking to one person and it's conversational. Problem, solution, proof, action. That's it. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't make it a fucking essay. Just problem, solution, proof, action. Use natural transitions when you're moving from point to point. Here's why. Here's the thing. Let me explain. Stuff like that. Benefits, not features. And this is the big one. Stop trying to be entertaining. Your job isn't to entertain people. I know that people say that's one of the core principles of marketing. You need to entertain people. You need to educate. You need to educate them, but you just need to do it in a way where you're not pissing them off and wasting their time. One emotion per email, simple. That is it. So stop making this mistake. I guarantee your copy will get 100 times better and you'll sign more fucking clients. If you enjoyed this video, put a comment and tell me what kind of videos you want to do next. I'm slowly running out of ideas. And yeah, get on the newsletter, click the link below in the description, and I will see you guys in the next video.